Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's review. And for today's very special review, I'll be wearing an Avengers t-shirt mixed in with a Batman cap. Oh yeah. Now welcome to part 2 of my Halloween month. And kicking off part 2, we're going to be reviewing one of the most underrated thrillers slash action movies slash fantasy gothic horrors of all time. Van Helsing! Van Helsing. Directed by Stephen Sommers, who directed the first 2 Mummy movies, it's one of those movies that I have a fond memory with, but not a lot of people like. What's up with that? Van Helsing tells the story of a man named Gabriel Van Helsing, who hunts down vampires and werewolves and mummies and weird scientist men who turn into monsters for a living. He works for this holy order called Knights of the Holy Order. Basically a group of a bunch of religious people who all gather around. Yeah, apparently it's monsters that bring religious people together. Not peace, but no, monsters. That's what make Christians and Muslims get together. You see, this is why I'm an atheist. Van Helsing is one of those movies actually I have fond memories with. I remember me and my sister would constantly wake up every now and then to turn on to FX, and they'd be playing Van Helsing. And me and my sister would instantly just put aside our plans just to watch it. It was some great memories we had. So, what do you think of the movie? I actually enjoy it. Up to this day, I still think Van Helsing is one of those movies that I enjoy, but yet everyone somehow hates. Now, interesting fact of how I got the DVD, I was actually at a Goodwill. I think it was a Goodwill. Oh, anyways, I was at a place where they basically sell a bunch of stuff really cheaply because people just donate them. I was just looking around, and I just see at the movie section, Van Helsing, in this awesome little box set that looks like it was barely used. I'm like, you gotta get it. Van Helsing is one of those movies I enjoyed watching. Hugh Jackman is kick-ass as any role, man. You may well know him as Wolverine from the X-Men series, but he also plays Van Helsing in Van Helsing. And Kate Beckinsale, who I'm considered one of my favorite childhood crushes because of this movie. She was so cool. Like, she was badass. And of course, you don't want me to talk about the 2 leads in the movie. They did fine. What you really want to talk about is the monsters. Count Dracula. Now, this is one of my favorite incarnations of Dracula, because he acts like how I think a villain should act. Not this serious, big, boring, threatening. More like this villain who has fun with what he does and likes to do evil things, and that's what Dracula is. This is a much better Dracula. This is a much better movie that represents vampires in today's movies. I'm looking at you, Twilight. Unfortunately, though, there are a couple problems with the movie. The effects seem a little dated. I know. For a movie made in 2004, the effects seem dated. What a shock. But yeah, I do think there are some times when the effects just don't look realistic at all. They're focused way too much on the action and little on the plot. But most of all, some of the characters are boring. But I still enjoyed it. Now, my favorite part about Van Helsing, though, are the werewolves. Van Helsing has the best werewolf design I have ever seen in a movie. When I watch movies nowadays, when it comes to werewolves, I'm always disappointed because they're either people that look like wolves, so they're just crawling on 4 knees. They look like mutated, scarier wolves, but it doesn't look cool to me. Either that, or they look like the one from the Wolfman, which, they look cool and all, but they don't look that wolf-like. They just look like a very hairy man with a dog nose. That's my dog's symbol all the time, who's right now sleeping because he's lazy. So when what is with this glare all of a sudden? Oh my god. I'm sorry, I should have prepared for this review, but I'm already 4 minutes in, so I don't want to change it out. So ignore the glare. Yeah, it works better. So when watching Van Helsing, I always get reminded of why I love these werewolves so much, because they looked big, they looked menacing, they looked scary, and I love the transformation. Unlike other werewolf transformation where we have the body and the bones contoured into a wolf-like state, this one, the skin just literally just rips off to reveal man wolf. I'm like, I actually like that transformation better. It's more unique and more original, even though it's been done before. But Dracula in his demonic form also looks really cool. Just the whole monsters in general look really cool. But most of all, what I think was the best effect in this movie, as well as the best monster, was Frankenstein's monster. Um, I thought the effect on him was really good because they use practical effects, which I'm always up for. Because if you know me, you know I prefer practical effects over CGI. So that was my first instance of watching a movie and realizing just how much makeup effects look better than CGI. And up to this day, I'm still for using practical over CGI. That's just how I am, and that's how I'll always be. So kudos to Jurassic World for continuing that legacy. Thank you. Marvel, please get your act together. Use some practical effects. I'm sure it could be dangerous, but it's also cool looking. But here's some interesting trivia. The guy who played Frankenstein's monster in Van Helsing also went on to play Frankenstein's monster in the Broadway version of Young Frankenstein. I'm not even kidding. Go look it up. In conclusion, though, Van Helsing, yeah, justifiably it does get hate. I understand. After all, the stuff in this movie is understandably why it's hated, but I still find enjoyment in it. It's still one of those movies that I enjoy, but everyone else hates. If you haven't seen Van Helsing, I recommend you give it a try. Sure, it may not be as good as the classic Universal monster movies. I still think Bride of Frankenstein is one of the best films of all time. But this movie is a good action film for any fan who loves action. And I love action films. I mean, I watch the Avengers and Batman movies. How much more action can I get? My final verdict, I give it a 7 out of 10. It's an enjoyable film for everyone. Go watch it. Go enjoy it. But be careful, though. If you see any monsters out there, just remember, call your old friend Gabriel Van Helsing. This is Isaac Flores, signing out. See you for your next review.